Alright, morning you guys. I'm going to quickly do a revision of algebraic or algebra equations. There's your homework. It is activity 2.4. I will put it on as well, and then you can copy it from the video. Please don't do number G, because that is some work we're going to do later on. Now, if you are solving equations, what you must remember, I think you've done this previous years, it is like a balancing scale. Whatever is what you are doing on this side, we must do the same on that side as well. So if I've got a plus that I need to get rid of on this side of my equation lines, I need to do it a minus, or a plus and a minus works vice versa against each other. And the other one, if I've got going to get rid of a multiply or a divide, I must do exactly the opposite, or the other one on the other side, without writing it. Now, normally we would have the unknown, the x and the y's and the a's and the b's, or whatever variable they want, I'm going to put on my left hand side. And then my right hand side is going to be all my numbers, or my numeric values. So for this first one, I will do it more in detail, then you would hopefully remember it from previous years. It's going to be 3x. How do I get rid of a minus 5? I'm going to say plus 5. And that is where the plus and the minus comes from. So what I'm doing extra on this side, I must also do extra on that side. Otherwise, I'm going to have an imbalance. That is why I'm saying if you've got a minus on the one side, I'm going to add on the other side. Because in short, that is what happened. I got rid of the minus 5 by adding it on the other side, but I actually added it on this side as well, and then they just get cancelled out. So that's why I'm doing it in short and saying if you want to get rid of a minus, you plus it on the other side, because I actually plussed it on this side as well, but they cancelled each other out. If I want to get rid of a plus on this side, say the x, I'm gonna minus it on this side, so that those two cancel out with each other. So if I get rid of a plus, I must minus it on the other side. So on this side, I'm going to add the plus 3 minus 1 gives me 2x is equal to 9 plus 5 is 14. So remember, if I've got a plus on the one side, I cancel it out on the other side with a minus. If I've got a minus on the one side, I cancel it out to the other side with a plus. And that is exactly what I did here. Minus 5 I want to get rid of, so I added it to the other side. I've got a plus on this side, I want to cancel it by minusing it on the other side. So that is in short actually what I did for exchanging them to the other side. To get rid of a divide or a multiply or divide on one side, I do it on the other side as well. So here I'm going to say divide with 2 because it's being multiplied. To get rid of it on that side, or to do exactly the same, on the other side, is to also divide it on this side. So if I divide on this side, I must also divide on that side. So in this case, my x is going to be equal to 7, and that would be my final answer for this equation. So to cancel out a multiply, I divide. If I do it this side, I must also do it on that side. So if I would substitute the x into these two left and right hand, or right side and left side of my original equation, let's see if it solves my problem. 3 times x is 3 times 7, it's 21, minus 15 is going to give me 16. If I substitute the 7 into that side, it's going to be 7 plus 9, and that's also going to give me 16, and that's true. So with the value of x equal to 7, I have solved my original equation. Okay, let's do the second one. I'm going to do it a little bit shorter. I'm going to skip all these steps in between. To get rid of a plus on this side, I want to throw that one that side, and this one that side. Then I'm back at getting all my variables on the left and my numbers on the right. So I'm going to say it is y, there's a plus, so I'm going to minus it on this side. And then this side is a plus, so I'm going to minus it when I take it that side. And I'm not going to multiply with it, I'm not going to divide with it. It's a plus, so I must throw it over, and it becomes a minus. It's a plus, I must throw it over, and it's going to become a minus. So this side, I've got minus 8y is equal to minus 8, because 6 plus 2 is 8, but they are both minuses. Minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8. Divide with minus 8, so I've only got my y this side left, minus and the 8. Divide that side with minus 8. Aha, this is a nice and neat answer. It is equal to plus 1. Why plus? Because it's a minus, divided by a minus gives me a plus. 8 divided by 8 gives me a 1. So please respect the minus and divide both sides with the minus and the 8. Otherwise we're going to get 1 left there. If we substitute it back, it's going to be 3 is equal to 9 minus 6 is also 3. So that solution for y is going to be true for that equation as well. So just practice these a few times. Plus cancels out with a minus, a multiply with a divide, or a divide with a multiply, and that we've seen both sides. This one, from here on, it could be a little bit more difficult than it was previous years. It must be equal to 0 on my right hand side of my equation. Now if I've got two things that are being multiplied with each other, when will that answer be a 0? If that bracket is equal to 0, then it's going to be 0 times a bracket, it's going to be 0. If that bracket is equal to a 0, it's going to be 0 times that bracket, my answer is going to be a 0. So if any of my two brackets is 0, it will be a solution to my original formula. So I separate it in two separate equations, either when x minus 3 is equal to 0 or when x plus 2 is equal to 0. So in this case, how do I cancel a minus? I make it a plus on the other side. How do I cancel out a plus? Is by making it a minus on the other side. And that is my solution. Because if I multiply it out with a papagai, like you would maybe have liked to do it because of the previous work, you would have gotten an equation or an expression with x to the power of 2. And as soon as you've got an equation with x to the power of 2, we're going to have two possible answers for my x. If I substitute plus 3 into here, that would be plus 3 minus 3, it's 0. Doesn't matter what that is, it's 0 times 5, but the answer would be 0. So for that answer, my equation would be correct. But it would also be exactly the same for the x is minus 2. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0 times minus 5. It doesn't matter, it's 0 times whatever. So for that possible answer of x, my equation will also be true. If we apply that rule to this next equation, we will get exactly the same. X is equal to 0 or x plus 6 is equal to 0. So here again, if I've got an equation, please don't multiply it in with the distributive law. It is supposed to be one thing times another thing. So that is one possible answer for that equation. To get rid of a plus, I must change it into a minus. So the other possible answer for that equation to be 0 is when x is the value of minus 6. So remember, if I've got two things multiplied to each other and this side is equal to 0, that's important, my right side must be equal to 0. Then is the only way and that you can solve the equation. If it's not 0, please don't split them. So if you've got one thing times another thing equal to 0, split it into those two and then solve those two separate equations. You will have two possible answers. The last one is, please write it in the same exponential form and then you will get your solution. My ground numbers are the same, so my exponents must be the same, and you have to write the final answer down. Okay, for this one, my ground numbers need to be, my exponent needs to be the same, and then my ground numbers will be the same. So x to the power stays. 16 can be written as 2 to the power of 4. So my exponents are the same, so my ground numbers should also be the same. So we have to write a conclusion, x is equal to 2. Please don't leave it like this. Write the final answer down. If my exponents are the same, my ground numbers are the same. My ground numbers are the same, my exponents are the same. So please, the most difficult or disturbing, strange thing here would be solving two equations if there's a multiply and the right side is equal to 0. So please look at this one. There's some other examples in your textbooks as well. And there's the homework, activity 2.4. Don't do number G, because that one is going to get the exponents, or x to the power of 2. You don't know how to factorize yet. You can see if you can maybe factorize it, and then you'll get something like that second example, like maybe that one. See if you can maybe get that one into factorization, but you're not really supposed to be able to do G yet. So that's your homework. Please do it for tomorrow. I'll put on the homework tomorrow morning early, and then we'll do another example of LCMs tomorrow with the equations. Thanks guys, please do your homework. If you don't practice yourself, you won't be able to do it. Thanks, bye.